Okay, we're on the air live. I don't seem to have a camera right now. Let me see if I can fix that first. We had a little glitch getting started, and there we go. Got my camera, and I got the link posted in the YouTube chat box. If you watch on that side, you can click that to get in with us. And I also posted a new link in the Stunt Hanger at the Bench thread. The first one is no good. I see Jamie's looking. Okay, Jamie says he'll be on about 30 seconds ago. We got a couple of viewers. Sorry about that. We just had one of those things where something blipped and went wrong, but I think I got it all straightened out now. I'm double checking as I speak, so pardon me while I multitask. Yeah, and it looks like everything's up and running now. Hopefully all the links are correct and in the right place. So if anybody has trouble getting on, we'll work with you there. All right, another Monday. I spent the weekend beaching, so just getting back in the groove today. Had a good weekend. It was expected to be rainy all weekend at the beach, but it turned out to be really nice weather. We got to go hang out down at Garden City. Went out on the pier yesterday and watched all the beach people getting their tans on Saturday when all of the tourists arrive. We always call it White Saturday because everybody comes all milky white and checks into their new beach houses, and then Sunday we call it Red Sunday because everybody that got there Saturday got sunburned and all red. So White Saturday and Red Sunday are the two first days of beach vacation. Holly's and my best friends live at Surfside Beach, so when we want to go to the beach, we just go down there and stay with them, drop a line in the water, and hang around out on the beach, and it was really nice. But I got to get back in the groove now. I went out to the shop this evening to see if I could get my mind back into aero modeling mode, and I piddled around a little bit with the P40. Got the engine started bolting it up, and hey, Michael, how you doing, buddy?
Hanging in there, Rusty. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you good.
Good. Okay, I was screwing with my sound system a little bit and forgot to see what all the settings were before I started changing things, and I was afraid that I would be silent or something when I got on here, but it seems to be working now. Had a little problem getting started tonight, so if you got 2 notifications, that's why I had to set it up twice. But anyway, what you been doing for fun since we last spoke?
I kind of watched some of that contest that Sparky was doing. That was cool.
You mean the one at the Nats that he filmed, that he videoed?
The one in Dayton. That was pretty cool.
No, I hadn't seen that. I hadn't had being at the beach and all. I only had my phone, so I didn't spend any time on the forums. But so he posted some. He posted some flights on his Stunt Hanger channel, on his video YouTube channel.
Yeah, he live streamed the video.
Oh, good. I'll have to take a look at that. I'm planning on going out flying Thursday. I missed that. What'd you say, Tom? I might.
What? Yeah.
Nothing.
Still I just trying to get.
We're stepping on each other. Let's try this again.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm planning another flying event for this Thursday afternoon, and those afternoons have been working out pretty good for us. I've always been a morning flyer, going out trying to get there before the sun gets hot, but found it's better to go out at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and catch it when the evening winds die down, and it gets a lot more pleasant. So that's a new thing this summer, but I'm enjoying evening flying. We fly right up until it's just about too dark to roll our lines up and get out of there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that probably makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? when it gets a little cooler, winds cut down and all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah. I was hoping to make my new P40 last Thursday, but I didn't quite get it ready because I had a surprise tour of the manufacturing plant that my son works at. He called me up and asked me if I wanted to come see it, so I couldn't pass that up for the world. So I put aside the P40 and went to do a tour of his shop, and didn't, you know, so maybe this week I can finish it up and get out there, fly it. I'm hoping it'll fly right off the bench pretty well. They usually do. I'm kind of lucky that way. Looks like Frank's with us. Hey, Frank.
Yeah, how's it going, Rusty?
It's going pretty good. Had a little shaky start here, but I finally got it going.
Yeah, I seen you got a restart.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't cause any confusion. Looks like you figured it out with no problem, so maybe everybody else will.
Yeah, I just went to at the bench.
Yeah, I had to post 2 threads. Now, what you working on tonight?
Well, I'm finishing up this.
Oh, flight box.
Nice light box.
Yeah. I got to do the cradle for it, and then I think I'm gonna coat it with clear butyrate dope to fuel proof it and paint
Yeah.
it.
If you thought about maybe Minwax polyurethane, that would have been my first choice.
Well, I would have done that, but it's got so many different color wood on it. I don't think it would look good, so I'm just gonna paint it.
Yeah,
You know, butyrate dope.
that'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, lay it on good and thick.
Yeah, I will.
And
Turn it up
Mr.
pretty good.
Charles Carter has joined us. How you doing, Charles?
Doing well. How are you, Sparky? I mean, Rusty.
Pretty good. Had a little trouble
Hey,
getting
what's up,
started,
Mike?
but it looks like everybody figured it out. So
Hey, what's up, Frank?
How you doing, Charles?
Doing well.
Good.
So what you been doing since we last met?
Oh, I've been working on that plane. Last time, what was I doing to that plane? I was changing the engine. So I put the LA 46 in there and flew it earlier this week, or last week, excuse me. And it was pretty nice. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. I used the same props, same lines, and the first flight, you know, when it went into the 2-cycle part of the run, I mean, it just accelerated, you know. And actually accelerated. I actually put a head gasket on there to kind of calm down the 2 part of the engine run. So that's what kind of trimming it out, and the LA weighs a little less. So I took off a little tail weight.
Yeah.
And then this morning I actually took off the muffler, which wasn't stock anyway. It was a Randy Smith muffler, which weighs a little over an ounce.
Yeah.
And then I replaced that with a tongue muffler. What's that high
Looks like
pitched noise?
That's
Like we
Jamie.
got people pouring in here. We got Jamie. Are you driving? Are you driving a car right now, Jamie?
Oh yeah, I'm multitasking.
He's multitasking.
Be careful out there.
Yeah. Is it causing feedback?
I
Yeah.
got some kind of chatter going on in the background. It doesn't sound like us or YouTube.
It might be
though.
Howard. It sounded like a chipmunk.
Oh, Howard got that chipmunk going on again?
Sounds like it.
Alvin.
Yeah,
Alvin.
Sound like a horny chipmunk.
Yeah.
What you
I'm
got?
gonna be back on in about 20 minutes once I get home.
All right.
All right.
That way I can focus on the road here.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd
that's
probably
it.
be a good idea.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. I hate to see you get in a wreck.
All right. We'll see you when
Oh,
you
yeah.
get home.
All right.
Yeah, that might work out a little bit better. We don't want to be the reason for anybody's accidental demise while we're chatting.
Yeah,
Right.
Now, if only I could figure out how to hang this damn thing up. Oh, I know the quick way. Just shut everything down.
Yeah, looks like that did it.
No, it didn't. God dang it, no.
I don't know on the phone how that would work, but there should be a thing that looks like a phone to hang up
There
on.
it is. I found it. All right, I'll see you on a little while.
All right, bye. Our usual confusing startup. All right. Now we can talk airplanes.
Hopefully Howard will get back with us.
I think I'm
Howard's
here.
with us.
Am I still chipmunking?
No, you're good.
Nope. No chipmunk.
Yeah.
No chipmunk.
I think mine's flashing because the last couple, 3 weeks, my internet has been marginal at best. It's been way slow. So if there's delay with me, that's probably why.
Are you on cable like Time Warner Spectrum or something like that? What are you on?
No, I am on a radio controlled, I guess satellite. I don't know what it would be. It's called CCOM. I used to be on HughesNet. We won't even go.
Okay, so you're basically DSL speed probably. I've heard that Spectrum's going to be really turning our speed up, but I don't know when that's supposed to happen. I'm pretty satisfied with the speed I've got anyway, so I got no complaints. It was Time Warner, and it's now Spectrum, and everybody loves to hate Time Warner and complain about them, but I swear I can't complain with the service I've gotten in my neighborhood. It's been reliable and pretty solid.
Yeah, I've got the Xfinity Wi-Fi, and it's pretty high speed.
I think I'm doing about 25 megabits downloading, not but 2 or 3 megabits up, but that's still fast enough to load my fly-in movies in about 20 minutes. And
Last time I did a speed check on mine, it was 67.
Wow.
That's pretty quick. I did post a new video from last Thursday's expedition on YouTube. I didn't take the time to edit it. I just put the raw video up, and it would be good. I actually flew a pretty good pattern, except for the guy that was videoing me. Mostly got me flying and the planes outside about 90% of the time outside of the picture, so can't really see much. You wouldn't know if I finally get the camera on a good pattern, and it's.
That's the only thing that's bad about watching a control line video is you don't see the plane half the time.
What I usually like to do is to point the camera so that the pilot's feet are dead at center of the bottom of the screen, and back off far enough to where you cover the air up to 90 degrees high wherever he's going to fly the stunts. And when he flies flat laps, it'll go out of the picture on each side, but it'll come back in whenever he's doing anything that we want to see.
Oh, okay.
And that works for me. But some people will get out. I remember when I first started looking at other people's videos, and people take the camera and try to follow the plane around like this, and it just makes you nauseated. And you can't tell what the plane's doing. There's no sense of perspective. So I just like to plant the camera and stick it.
Yeah.
Hey, Terry. I thought I saw Terry pop in there. There you go. How
Hey,
you
Rusty.
doing, Terry?
Hey guys, nice to meet you all.
Yeah. Have you met everybody here? We got.
Well,
Frank,
I've seen them on for months, but they've never seen me. I've just been on the YouTube side.
Yeah, well, we've relayed your messages back and forth anyway, but this is Terry Forbes. He's the billionaire businessman that joins us.
Yeah, I wish.
I have to subscribe to Forbes magazine now.
Hey, I don't even get it for free. I don't even get it anymore. I don't get it anymore.
Hey, he
Took
could,
you off the mailing list?
you could be a billionaire in yen.
You know, it's funny because I know several people that work there, and Oh, it's funny. Anyway, it's you know, sometimes it's not a real good advantage. Like when you go into a car dealership to buy your wife a family car because she's pregnant. You don't go in and say, "Hi, I'm Mr. Forbes."
Right.
That doesn't work really well.
No. No, they don't care. They don't believe you anyway.
Now, when I go buy a car, I just go wear my old guzzy airplane clothes, and you know, I don't think I think they've learned by now not to try to judge you by the clothes you're wearing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I sure as hell don't want to look rich when I walk in there.
Nope.
I know most millionaires don't dress real good anyway. They, they dress plain.
Yeah.
For a reason.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing to prove, you know.
That's
Right.
it.
R.W. Bishop's here. He says, "Hey guys, here for a few, but working."
I'm gonna switch up. I'm gonna try to move my laptop downstairs. I can make some progress toward my plane. So I'm gonna reconnect with you when I hook up again.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. See you guys in
Yeah,
a
the
minute.
flip
Or-
flop.
All right, we'll see you in a minute. Well, I finally got my bar mount that I was making for the P40's engine all made up, and that was my first one. Do y'all remember me? Did I talk about that last week rather than just boring holes in the beams on the P40R? I was going to put a bar mount which will allow any engine, no matter where the holes in the tabs are, to be mounted. And
That'd be neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm liking it so far. I trimmed away, I chiseled away the doubler in the area where the bottom bearer plate of the bar mount is going to fit, so that it would sit right against the beams rather than on top of the plywood. And after I did that, I got to second guessing myself and worrying that I had weakened things, especially vibration wise, by chiseling that doubler away. And on the bottom one, the top one didn't bother me so much, but the bottom one was a little bit wider. And so I got my first opportunity to work with carbon toe. And what I did was I had chiseled enough of the doubler away off of that bottom beam to where I could see balsa wood underneath the beam. And I didn't like that at all. So I went and I took carbon toe, which is like, it's a flat string. It's not twisted up, but it's a 1/4 inch wide flat string of tiny carbon strands. And so I twisted it up and packed it all in and coated it with CA glue and hit it with kicker, and it turns hard as a rock as soon as you do that. And it's like after you do that, it's like a carbon fiber rod all of a sudden. It's just stiff and inflexible as a carbon rod. So I kept packing it in and CA-ing it and building it up to where it reconnected the beam to the balsa to the doubler and shaped it all the way around the curve of where that bearer plate was going to mount. And I'm real happy with it now. I'd never worked with carbon toe before, but that's good, versatile stuff. If you want to, like for instance, if you've got a wing with a cracked strut, not a strut, but a, well, I'm at a loss for words. Spar, yeah. You can piece the spar back together and cut a gouge in it, and then pack it full of this strands of carbon toe and put CA in there and keep layering it thicker and thicker until it fills it up. And it's like having a piece of carbon rod embedded into it, and it'll never break where that toe has been put. I learned that Bob Zambelli's shop one day. He was helping me fix my Oriental, which had a broken spar. So after that, I went out immediately and bought a roll of carbon tow, which was like, I think I paid $3 for 9 feet of it, and it was free shipping. And this is the first chance I've had to use it. But you can shape it and form it to any shape and use it for all kind of stuff for reinforcement. And now that I've got that beam on the P40 reconnected, bridged with the carbon toe, I feel like it's probably stronger than it was before I chiseled that plywood doubler away. And so I thought that was interesting enough to tell you all about. I'll see if I can find some pictures of it before we go away and show you exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know if my description put an image in your minds of actually what I was doing, but I got the bolts measured up for how deep they need to go tonight. I'm ready to bolt the nose and the engine together, and so it's getting close to flying.
That's good.
Should
Have
hold
any
up.
of y'all worked with carbon tow at all?
Yeah, I work with it a lot with sailplanes. Like we use a lot of it in our spars, and I get some of that Dave Brown product. That it's like in the carbon's in like a thin, flexible strip that you can epoxy to the top of the spar. Really good stuff.
It's like a kind of a horsetail. Looks like almost when it spreads out. It's just
that's
the tiniest little fibers. I couldn't even separate
some
the fibers and measure it with my caliper. It's so thin that I couldn't even get a measure on it with a caliper.
No, it's here's some right here.
Yeah,
right there. That's it.
It's much thinner than a human hair.
Oh yeah, no, it's real thin. Yeah, carbon tow. Yeah. In fact, I did a reinforced motor mount for my P47. I've got one of those Sato 3-cylinder engines going in it, and I just made the reinforcements for the mount by putting some 6-penny nails through the mount, and then just wind the carbon toe around it and just keep layering epoxy on it. And then I layered another piece of plywood over the top. And boy, I tell you, I've been running the motor, and it's sucking up the vibration beautifully. No cracking, no nothing.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to figuring out some new things to use it for.
I mean, it is absolutely the essential tool in repairing F2D airplanes.
That's a fact.
It's strong, it's quick. The only disadvantage is if you're not careful with the CA, you'll glue your hands. Your hands will become tow, which makes them really strong. You don't break them all that easy, but it's kind of hard to get that stuff. It gets hot in a hurry, and it's hard to get it off your hands.
One thing I was worried about is that after I got it all laid into place, I made it a little thicker than it needed to be. So I took a tiny little cutting, kind of a conical tip from a Dremel and smoothed it out. And I put a mask on my face, but I was worried about it getting in my eyes. You know, I don't know if it was slinging little microscopic particles of carbon around that could get in my skin and eyes and all that. I'm kind of a little dubious about working with carbon fiber. I've been warned about sanding it and getting it embedded in your skin.
Yeah, in your skin.
Like
yeah.
that.
Well, you'll get splinters. Carbon tow, once it's hit with CA and you do any work around it, it will splinter. And that'll stick in your hand like a piece of wood.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you're somewhat careful with it, it's pretty easy to use. I typically will use the medium CA to get it set in a spot. And then I wrap it up, and then I put the thin on it. Because if you try to put the thin on it and hold it, that's when you glue your hands to the toe.
Yeah. That sounds a lot like what I did. I used medium to hold the tip of it from fraying and then laid it out, twisted it, and then soaked it with thin CA.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. A good way to prepare a lot, especially on the inside. If you have one break, you can, and it doesn't add hardly any weight at all. Very light.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad I found out y'all are using it too, because I knew nothing about it until I'd seen Bob work with it, and I knew I had to have some, and then it took me several months now before I found a use for it. But I think that was the right thing that I used it for. Looks good. Let's see. While I'm sitting here, I think I can find those pictures. P40 folder with all that in it.
Sparky had kind of a neat video doing something with the carbon toe.
Wait, landing gear?
No, even better. He made a carbon spinner.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
The rubber form and all that, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I've always wanted to learn how to do that.
Okay, let's see.
Can't remember which plane that spinner was for, but he made a carbon spinner.
I think it was for his Junar, or the XL.
Now, this was an older series.
Oh.
He did ways back either for the Monado or for the Continental XL, I think. I don't remember which. Or it might have been for one of the other ones. But it was quite a ways before this Junar.
Here's one picture where I was only about half through. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
That was when I first started backing it in. But anyway, I layered it up until it was really thick, and then I trimmed it to shape, and it looked like a really professional job when I got through. But you can see where I took too much wood away and exposed where the balsam at the beam, and I wasn't happy about that at all. So I think I've got it tied back together with that pretty well.
Yeah.
And then I got a better.
It's good stuff. It's strong. It's light. And the only disadvantage I've seen is just I've glued it to my hands numerous times.
Yeah, that's a mess too, I bet.
Yeah, well, you get in a hurry. I get in a hurry. You may not get in a hurry, but I get in a hurry, and I'm very impatient, and I want something done.
I hear that.
Yeah, I want it done the second I think about it. I want it done, and that's when I end up gluing my hand to the table or my foot to the floor.
Hey,
You know
Shane,
what?
did you get that?
Just cutting ribs for a Spitfire wing again.
I'm not very experienced at using CA, and so I've got this super thin CA that I was using to glue the stab on the P40, and I was standing it on its nose, and I'm thinking, man, this thing's really sucking up a lot of glue. I wonder where it's going, and I didn't see it rolling down the side of the plane or anything, but then when I tried to pick the plane up off the floor mat picked up with it, so it had run all the way from the tail down to the side and glued the nose to my damn floor mat.
I love it.
Well, that's why I've tried to stay away from the thin as much as I can. Because you can take the medium viscosity. I typically, if I'm making a small plywood part, I'll take 64th and I'll glue 5 sheets of 64th plywood together. It's lighter and stronger than 1/8 inch or 3/32 or anything like that.
Yeah.
You cross grain them and you take a Q-tip and smear that medium viscosity CA on it, and you stack them all up, and then you put some clamps on it, and you actually have time to work with it. And so that has been, I learned that off of a Wendy video. And that stuff works pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Of course, I had to watch 3 hours of video to learn that one little.
Yeah, you gotta watch. You gotta watch 7
Gotta
hours.
watch your
Well,
feet.
they're kind of fun that way, aren't they?
Yeah, I learned what life is like in New Jersey. That's glad I don't live there. And you know, what it's like to own a train set, choo-choo trains.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot about
And the bird and the
Talos-
goldfish.
yeah, the goldfish. I learned about the bird that's dead, and then the birds that are outside where, I don't know, somebody eats all of their food, the squirrels or something, I don't know. Yeah, but I
And the
learned
rat
all
that
that to get one tip. So
Yeah.
overall,
He's
it
the
was
original vlogger.
no, Wendy is a very, Sparky's are a little, I like Sparky's better because they're succinct. You get right to the point. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do it. See you later. And Wendy will share a lot of good information. It's just you got to watch hundreds of hours of video to get it.
Yep.
Yeah. Sparky ain't got patience for bullshit.
Yeah, well, there's some of that, like these things here, these are good to have on in the background. So if you hear something that you want to get, you know, interested in, you can jump in. But no, his regular videos, yeah, there's no BS in them. It's, this is what you do it this way, and it'll work. And he's right. All that stuff works.
Howard, I acquired something Saturday that would interest you, sort of.
All right. You was at Cy Falls High School, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, other than that, but
No, I have no antibiotics or, you know, selling. So, you know, I can't help you with any of that.
man, I done went through the ins and out of Houston in 2 days over there. But I picked this up for $25 at my good at Hobbytown at Annie Chase's place.
Okay.
A Super Tiger 23.
Oh, get out of town.
$25.
What is
That
it?
looks like a ball bearing version of it.
It is 1970.
Oh, that's a good motor, man. That's a nice motor.
That's the
25.
Super Tiger 23. I've got
Yeah.
one. That's
Unbelievable. Yeah, that's a good motor.
Do all Super
And I
Tiger
ordered
engines have
an Venturi NVA from Jim Lee. So I'm gonna, from what I've read about it, it's a little powerhouse. I'm thinking about putting it on a Magician.
Do all the Super Tiger engines have the same size spray bar and needle valve assembly? Or do they?
I don't know about the littler ones. I know most of them from 35 up are the same diameter. They're different widths, some of them.
Jamie, what's on the case? Is that a G21 23?
20 G20.
A G20 23. That may be the same needle. Can you hold it up again so I can see the Venturi? Is it a real small one?
It's got the RC carb on it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
In which I like I said, I already got a Jim Lee making me a Venturi.
Yeah.
And a needle valve. And that,
Yeah, you know,
getting out the
the
way.
actual Super Tiger made a Venturi that was I call it a sprinkler system. There were holes all the way around the inside of it.
Yeah, that's the way the one on my Magnum 20, not Magnum, but
And it has a
Thunder
very
Tiger 25 is.
small, I mean, the opening in that thing is probably at the most an 1/8 inch, 3/16. I mean, it is not much at all.
Yeah, because it doesn't have the bar block in it, spray bar block in it like the other.
Right, it's a very small opening, and the engine will not develop much power with that Venturi in it. But since Jim Lee is making your Venturi, I think you're going to be good. I think that'll be a good little motor.
Yeah, Dane Martin told me to get it set up for combat, and I could barely even fly a beginner pattern. So combat is just totally out of my league right now.
Oh, we can get you. I'll get you an airplane and put a motor on it, and I'll come to Baton Rouge, or you can come back to Cy Falls High School. We'll go fly out here.
Yeah.
This afternoon, Mike Lonsky posted a video of his son Sam flying a half-A combat plane, and he was just screaming around with that plane, and it was I was what 50-something years old before I could fly a plane like that, and you know y'all might have seen me flying my little Satan or something like that. Man, Sam puts me to shame. He really jumped it out.
Half-A's can be much more difficult to fly, at least the ones they fly at the Nats, the competitive ones, because they're so sensitive. They're all tail heavy.
Yeah.
We end up taking our handles, and the line spacing on the half-A handle is about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah,
So you-
in fact, sometimes they run them through their two middle fingers right here.
The handle fits right in my hand. There's nothing else, and the wires come out right there,
Yeah,
right through those two holes right there. That's where the wires come out. You have and it makes the airplane where you can fly it. Otherwise, you got to be 16 years old like the current world champ and have reflexes that are
reflexes of a cat. Yeah.
Have real reflexes.
yeah, like what's the thing? The honey badger that tackles the cobras and winds. You got to have reflexes like that. And
Howard,
yo,
you ever flown with Andy Chase?
that name sounds familiar. Did they own a hobby shop
Yeah, he owns a Hobby Town in Baton Rouge.
in Baton Rouge? I thought that name was familiar. I don't know that I flew with him, but I bought an RC-10 from him one time when I was doing some off-road racing. And then I went over to Mark Wood. Yeah, this was back in the 80s, early 80s, when off-road, 1/10 scale off-road racing was popular.
Well, I was going to walk out to shower, not walk out, but I was going to check out and whatnot. I grabbed some dope and silk span and other little odds and ends I needed. And he had, granted, I done tore it off, but he had this Flight Streak Junior sold as is for $25. Now, granted, this thing is older than me.
Okay, hold it back up. Oh man, put that little 23 on there. You might need some tail weight, but that dog will hunt.
But no, it only needs to be recovered. And I done ripped off all the busted up silk span.
Yep.
But he's like, oh man, that's a solid plane. It's been in my attic 4 years. Recover it, go on the engine, and go. It's ready to go. It's ready to go.
Yep.
Damn fuselage moves side to side on the wing.
Well, everybody has their own definition of ready to fly,
Yeah. But I bought some Brodak medium, which I should have got the light. But I think I'm gonna try to silk it. I'm gonna have to, out of y'all experts, sand off all the old dope off the wing before I do it.
You not necessarily. You need to get it all rough. I mean, because you don't have a lot of wood there to work with. That's a junior Flight Streak, so everything's pretty thin as is. Mm-hmm. And if you start sanding and going through, you might be better off just roughing it up good with some 150 grit sandpaper, so that the dope has something to bite on, so that you get a better mechanical bond with the dope. You may get some chemical bond because the dope may melt into the paint that's on there if it was painted with butyrate dope.
Yeah,
but it's hard to tell from here. Is the paint sticky at all, or does it feel fine?
It feels fine.
It's probably butyrate dope. I mean, since he works in a hobby shop, or most people paint with that. Although lately, I got a airplane from a guy that was painted with Rust-Oleum. And Rust-Oleum is not fuel proof. And Rust-Oleum, when you get a lot of fuel on it and you touch it, all the paint comes off in your hand. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, the airplane itself wasn't in bad, but the cowling area, I've been working on that for about 3 weeks now, trying to get it down to the wood so that I can put some kind of finish in there to protect it.
Most of the colors of Rust-Oleum have been pretty well fuel-proof for me. That's what I used to do all of my half-A's with. I don't have any problem with it.
Out in the open areas where you don't have a high concentration of fuel, there's no issues. The paint feels a little sticky, which told me it was either Krylon or Rust-Oleum. But based on the gloss, I'd say it's probably a single-stage epoxy. They make a Rust-Oleum epoxy paint. Mm-hmm. But that stuff will not hold up to fuel. I mean, the nitromethane, or even the alcohol in it, if it's, sits there long enough, it just becomes chewing gum.
Yeah.
So I got to scrape all that off, and the white looks like it might be insignia white. It's got a lot of yellow in the white. Not a cream, but I can probably take insignia white. It's kind of a warm white, and might be able to modify that with a little bit of black and a little bit of yellow.
So, even if you, let the Rust-Oleum sit for a couple of weeks, cure and whatnot, even if you Put a clear coat on it as well?
Oh, that I didn't say. No, clear coat changes things. If you put
Oh.
like automotive clear, and you have it to where it's actually attached to the paint, yeah, it's as good as anything you can put on.
Or a luster coat. I use that over the nose on my West planes.
Especially anywhere there's going to be a high concentration of fuel. That's where you need to protect it. The rest of the airplane's fine. I mean, in general, after it dries for a month or 2 or 6, it'll still may have a slight tacky feel to it. But in general, if you wipe it off, right after every flight, that won't create a problem. It's where the engine bolts to the fuselage, anywhere that you've got metal on some type of wood or hardwood and paint underneath it and fuel sitting under it.
Yeah.
It just dissolves. Yeah, it becomes chewing gum. So if you do, as Rusty said, put like luster coat or automotive clear coat or epoxy clear, something like that over it. Luster coat's probably the easiest to use. You'll be good.
Yeah, because I got a buddy in the club. He has a twister he done in white Rust-Oleum and orange, I think.
Okay.
And it's just like, I'm pretty sure he did a clear coat on it as well, but I mean, it's just, you can't even tell it's Rust-Oleum. Did so well on it.
Yep. Well, just as long as where the fuel engine mounts, the tank mounts, where you got a high concentration of fuel, I'd always protect that.
So, in other words, that's a good general rule of thumb.
Well, actually, it works. It's true also with butyrate. Butyrate dope is not as bad as the Rust-Oleum. Butyrate will last, 6 months to a year before it starts to show significant peeling or where the fuel's attacking it. But Rust-Oleum will last a month, and because you can't get in there and clean everything. Everywhere you wipe it off, it's fine. But it's where you don't get it wiped off that you create a mess.
Because was at Hobbytown, I bought 2 cans. I got a 16-ounce cans of butyrate clear.
Yep.
And thinner as well.
Yep.
So for that Ringmaster trainer, because I'm going to do a Rust-Oleum job on it, because it's just all sheet balsa anyway. So I was going to do that as after I get it nice and sanded like I wanted. Dope it all up, sand it, whatever, dope it again, and then do the DC 540, sand it, and the necessary steps.
Yeah.
Before shooting a Rust-Oleum.
And then right up where you're mounting the motor on, put something like luster coat or something like that that'll protect it up there, because that's where
it's like a plastic shell almost when you put that on it.
Yep. Then that way it'll probably last a good while.
Yeah.
Hey, Jamie.
Hey, what's up, man?
I picked up another Enya for my collection.
Oh, man, don't tell me another 35 Classic.
No. It's a 50 CX.
That looks brand new.
It is.
Oh, that's pretty.
Came with a used muffler, though, but heck, I got a decent deal on it.
What size is that? I couldn't tell.
It's a 50.
Oh, a 50. Okay, cool.
I hear it's pretty good. I've never used one before.
I'm actually planning on throwing the Enya 15 on that little junior flight streak whenever it is I get to it.
That'll work.
The one they were talking about putting that 23 in that 23 is not that heavy, because it was the original G20 was a 15. It's a 23 built on a 15 size case. So it's,
oh yeah, the case is only a little smaller than like an LA 25. I find.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably put out the same amount of power.
I learned the beginner pattern yesterday. I learned it all wrong. I'm going to say that much. So I decided, I got all motivated. I'm going to go fly. So I brought out my stooge, went to the field, launched from the stooge. All right, here we go. Let's do it. Did my half-ass wing over. Did my ugly insides. Did my ugly outsides. I did a square that came out kind of triangle from, horizontal triangle, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I'm like, all right, let's try this overhead 8. So I go, I pull up in a wing over, do an overhead 8. No, let's not do an outside loop. Let's go straight. Let's not do an inside. Let's go straight to an outside loop. So I do an outside. It comes around, and all of a sudden it's coming right at me. And I just hang back on the handle and got it to straighten out somehow, and phew, and went back around. I'm like, all right. So I'm having some issues with that damn Ringmaster, or at least I was yesterday, because whenever I'd go up at like the, you know, if I do a loop, I go up at a 45, it's fine. If I go higher than a 45, I get a lot of slack. You know, it's like I'm not feeling that plane at all, unless I got, you know, I'm facing the wind opposite, and the wind's pushing against it. I'm not really feeling the plane at all.
Do you have
So
any engine offset?
Offset on the engine.
Do you have your engine offset at all? Do you have any?
I got 2 little washers under it, under the front.
That
bolt.
should be enough.
But they're very small washers. I'm thinking I might need to put an
Yeah, you might increase it.
You know, it's a thicker washer than what I have on there.
Are the lead outs adjustable?
They are. I've never messed with them though. It's been like they're the same spots as it was when I got it. What I need to do, I need to get one of the guys at the club next time we all meet up to actually fly it to see what I need to do.
Tom Creasy says howdy. Says he's been working long hours and just dropped in to say hi.
Hi, Tom.
This stuff look familiar? It's not where you usually buy it. And it's 13 grams per square meter.
Is that a
But
socket tissue?
I get back of 40, what is it? 31 by 47 sheets of that paper from Hiromi Paper for $16 for a 10-pack plus shipping.
Oh, is that
And that's
that doctor office paper that they were talking about?
I was about to mention that. I wanted to know if y'all had been using it, because I'm going to the doctor in a few weeks, and I'm thinking I'll see if I can whack off 6 or 8 feet of that stuff and bring it home for the Cardinal.
You don't want to bring the used stuff because you can't get that KY gel on.
They're gonna
I'll try
have
to
to
get
use it deductible.
And also, the dope won't stick to it then. It just kind of beads up on it.
Maybe I can get
For
it
sure, you got chewing gum.
banged up.
This
A couple-
stuff I think was actually intended to be its
Good evening,
archive,
guys.
neutral
Hi, Tom.
and
Hey, there he is.
Hey, what up, Frank?
How's it going?
Dusty? Howard?
Hey, Steve.
Yeah, we got a pretty good crowd going.
Steve, y'all coming to the team trials?
Not me.
no, that's not.
Who, me?
Oh, no, I mistook someone. I thought Heine was on here.
I think Steve said a while back that they were gonna go to the team trial.
Probably
These pictures are too small in my vision. It's too bad. I thought Thomas was Steve, but I realized Steve was a lot uglier.
Man, 2 uglies don't make a pretty.
Hey, you got out of that one, Howard.
Well, yeah, there's no telling how that could have come out.
Hey, I was sitting here working on this list, and I heard Jamie say that he had problems when he was over 45 degrees. Airplane goes slack.
Yeah.
Are there adjustable lead outs on that plane?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Well, you need to take them. You need to take it towards the front of the leading edge.
Maybe.
I think so. Yep.
That's
I
what
might
they
need to
say.
lead- I
I'm
might
not
need to
so
needle
sure.
in a little bit too, because I'm still using a 9.4 prop, and I'm not, winding it. I'm not really like winding it out, but I mean, I'm getting a slight 2.4 break in it whenever the way I set the needle.
And your other thing that it might be is it might be the pitch. You're 9.4,
Yeah, I'm thinking 9.5 would be
go
better.
to 9.5.
A 9.5 with the where I got the needle at would probably be the ticket. It would have more speed and more power going into
It'll
the
have more power, so it'll keep your lines tight.
Yeah, but it's odd because the last time I flew it, I had no problems. I would do vertical leaps all day, and just I never had a problem with the lines going slack. And
Well,
the thing is,
one time I had that problem, and I was like couldn't figure it out, and my bolt come loose on my lead out adjustment.
That'll do it.
Yeah, it moved
flying out of ballpark over here, so I got trees, in the shape of a ball field, in different spots. Yeah, I just couldn't pinpoint the wind. It would be in my face, and all of a sudden it's coming from the side. It's just, but it wasn't strong wind to really make a big difference.
Everybody froze.
Somebody named Trayan just joined us.
Tran?
No picture yet. Can you hear
I
us?
got one of the ultralight ring masters coming to me too.
Hello.
Yeah, we got a picture.
There he is. Good evening, Trayan. Is that how you say it?
Tran.
Look what the cat dragged in here.
We got a pretty poor audio on you. Anything you can do with your microphone to get it cleared up? Got a good picture.
I don't know.
You got a good picture.
All right. What? So tell us about yourself, Trey, and what you up to.
Just working. Let me show you.
I like building model airplanes and reading the articles in the back of Playboy.
All right. That's where you fit right in.
Yeah. So welcome to the club.
That's it.
Michael Miller just joined the video. Oh, that's Mike back. That's our old Mike.
Yep. I think my internet slowed down so bad it kicked me off.
See, we got
I'm real pleased with my internet right now.
8 people on right now. That's a pretty good crowd.
It's almost a full book here.
Yep.
Yeah, not bad for Monday. So what you guys been up to last couple times?
Okay, let me lock on Trayan's picture. Let's see what you got here. Oh, you got a wing for him.
Horizontal. Now this is a mold for a horizontal.
Oh,
Mold. The mold for what?
Horizontal.
Stabilizer.
Yep.
a mold. You say it's a mold for the horizontal stab.
My connection. I think my connection is bad.
Sometimes we got you loud and clear, and other times it's kind of hitting up.
Slam the door.
Oh,
I gotta get this cat off of my lap. Get on down, Professor. There we go.
Oh, mold, horizontal mold.
Yeah. Oh, Minnesota Mike just checked in and said hi.
Yeah.
Let's see how many people we can get on here. Like you fix people in the Volkswagen back in the '60s.
That's a big one. Where are you from, Train?
Yeah, this is done on. Let me see here. I'll just use chat.
Oh, that's new now. It's got a pop-up while he's typing that says, I'll use chat. Okay, we get new features every now and then. That looks like a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think my connection is bad.
Bailed out. I think I'm going to call it evening because the sound just kind of in and out on me.
Okay, Mike. We'll see you later, bud.
See you, Mike.
Yeah, Friday, hopefully. For Thursday, I'll keep my eyes open.
Maybe
The
Michael.
worst part is I got the GoPro footage, like POV footage of that whole flight from having a GoPro strapped to my head.
Oh, that's an aluminum mold you were showing us.
Yeah. CNC machine.
Are you a machinist? Trey, are you a machinist?
Yes.
Oh, you're from Georgia?
All right, Georgia. South Carolina here.
Cool.
You got any wing molds?
Getting there.
Yeah. Yeah, love it.
Frank, what you working on now?
This.
Oh, the box.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
flight
big box. Yeah,
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
Very nice.
It's a Goldberg Super Tote.
Oh, Colt Goldberg. Yeah. Yeah, I just did one of the SIG Field Boss. Huge.
Yeah. This thing weighs about 20 pounds, it feels like.
Yeah, I use it. Yeah, it's got everything in it, man. It's huge.
Yeah, Steve Hines was carrying his flight box, and it was a box that was 8 inches by 8 inches.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had a fuel starter and everything in there. It was his battery packs for that electric Vector.
I love it.
Yeah, we was all hauling these great big old hefty boxes, you know.
Yeah, I know. There's a couple of guys in my club. I can't even pick their box up.
Hell, even my little box is heavy enough to where I don't like it.
I solved that problem by dividing my stuff up into about 3 boxes, and one of them hardly ever comes out of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 2 boxes. One's for flying, and the other one's I call the oh shit box. Man, when something happens to your plane, you got to bring out that box. Especially if you lawn dart it. Hey, Daryl, he hasn't been on for a minute, has he?
He was on, what was it? Thursday, I think it was.
Well, I seen he posted an airplane that he lawn darted in.
Oh yeah, that was I think it's Skyray, I think.
He visited briefly on
Yeah, I think it
Thursday
was.
night.
Huh. What are you working on, Terry?
I've got a boat going, and I've got this Franken twist. This is a fuselage. It's another twister. The 3-inch extension, the redesigned tail. But on this one, I used some laminates and some wood where I've got it where I don't have to add any tail weight. So it's all structural. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's all structural. But I'll have it together probably by Friday, skeleton-wise, and you guys can see it.
Cool.
And I've got
40
2
size?
sets of landing. Yeah, I got 2 sets of landing gear. I've got a set of the aluminum stuff you get at Brodak. That's the 2-piece. And then I did some out of the carbon that Rusty was just talking about. But I used carbon tape that I cut to fit and some toe in between. And I did some carbon gear. So what's cool about it, just by changing that gear and the size of the tires, I can change the CG of the airplane, quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
Them aluminum gear that you're talking about, I cut lightning holes all the way down it.
yeah, me too, buddy.
Yep. But yeah, that's my plane that I'm flying now. That's one thing that is a really bad design is landing gear.
Mm-hmm.
It's wire and it's 2-piece. So I'm trying to fit it and make it, and I'm flying off grass all the time.
See, it's hard, man. I have grass here, and
right now my gear is roached. I mean, it's just it's swept back, towards the tail, and every time I take off, the tail wants to dip up on me because
Yep.
Well, I made this out of a popsicle. This little design here. Well, it was a tongue depressor, but I'm going to cover it in fiberglass. And then that's going to push on the back of that. And I'm going to mount it with dowel pins through the 1/2-inch balsa wood with the profile. I hope it works. I hope it keeps my gear up.
I don't see why it won't.
The only other recourse I have is I'm going to have to go aluminum. And I really don't want to go that way.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a video the other day on a guy who was making carbon fiber landing gear.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, that's a good one.
And I might fiddle in that. But for right now, I got to keep flying it because I got another event coming up, and yeah, I got to get this done. It's the only plane I want to fly. Yeah.
What's your next event coming up?
Well, we was thinking of 2 different places, but I think we finally picked a place up there in the Chicago area. That's coming up here for long, ain't it?
I don't know. Okay, Tran.
Yeah, see,
Well,
I'm
thanks for
familiar
dropping
with
in,
that
man. I'm
one.
sorry we had such trouble talking, but we'll get the bugs worked out. So drop in again and see us on Friday night.
Hey, see you later, Trey. What, Terry? You've been to the one in Chicago?
Yeah, the Chicago one. I'm originally from Kenosha, southeast Wisconsin, on the lake.
Oh,
So I flew all around there. Now I'm down here in South Florida.
oh.
So, but I should have been up there this past week, but I went the week before because it was either go to Oshkosh to the big fly-in, and I'm a pilot and home builder, or go to the Wisconsin Fair and see Sean Emery and, see all my buddies at the fair, which that thing is just nothing but a beer and bratwurst fest,
Talking about a pilot. Today, this morning, I was out loading up my truck, and I heard this weird sound up in the air. And so I looked up in the sky, and I said, boy, that sounds like an ultralight. And sure enough was. He was flying. He was heading north. And he was kind of over by me, and I was sitting there waving at him. Like this, back and
I
forth.
love it.
And all of a sudden, he turns his airplane and turns to fly right over me. And so I real quick ran into my garage and grabbed an airplane and held it up in the air, And he sat there and he went like this real slow with his wing while he was coming over, and then he just made a circle and ended up going back north.
All right, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought so too. He looked down and saw that airplane. He was like, wow.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, that was
cool.
That was hell. It was real. It gets down to 57 degrees here at night. So in the morning, there's a lot of dew on the ground. The air is heavy. This was about 7 o'clock this morning when he did that.
That's good flying weather, though. It's not too bumpy.
Sure is.
Got plenty of lift in the cold air, yeah.
Yeah, I love the morning air.
Yeah.
Cold air? Where?
Yeah.
Oh, where the hell Howard went?
Say what?
He was going to relocate his computer down in his workshop. And
yeah, that's
back
right.
on.
Yeah,
So I'm excited to see that. I've seen some of his planes at contests. He's a fine builder, as all you gentlemen are.
Well,
we're all
I
learning.
don't know about that.
Yeah, I can put an ARF together with the best of them.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
all part of it.
trying anyway. But yeah, I've seen Howard's playing at the Nationals this year. Wow, man, he's a really good builder.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk to the kitchen for a second. I'll be right back. Oh, look, somebody else joined. I better hang on. See who we got. Kevin. Oh,
Nope.
Kevin came. Kevin went.
Nope. He's like, nope.
Okay. And we got somebody that posted in another language, either Spanish or Portuguese. It says hi. All right, I'm gonna hit the fridge. I'll be right back. Yeah, Minnesota Mike says it's probably spam.
I finished my test stand.
Oh, that's nice.
Is that 4-stroke for your ultimate?
Yeah,
Nice.
got a 16-6 prop on it.
Oh yeah, love it.
It's a R120 Indian.
Somebody was selling a SIG ultimate. I've seen for $100. I don't know if the quality of the SIG is compares to the Goldberg. You know.
I've never built anything but Goldbergs. I built 5 of them.
Yeah, I've got one in a box, man, and I cherish it.
Hey, I've got one in the box too, and I'm making templates out of it.
What is it?
You know, I built a few of those too, and I get them flying. And I live in an area where there's a lot of retired guys with excess income, and they don't want. You know, they come up to me, how much you want for it? I mean, they want it then, and I give them everything, including the flight box.
Yeah.
Now, they don't want to tell you what I charge either, but well, the last little RC boat I just let go was 5 G's.
Oh,
Wow.
sweet.
Those things are rare to see on eBay too.
Well, they go quick down here. I mean, RC boating is taking off, and it's those little, it's the Zenoa here. It's these. These are what are revolutionizing it. These Zenoa motors.
Oh wow!
Holy
It's a
cow.
little
That's a
two-stroke Japanese gas motor, yeah. And they originally, back about maybe 20 years ago or 25 years ago, were just in weed whackers and blowers. But then the company figured out they were selling more motors to the hobbyists. So this was specifically designed to be a marine motor.
Cool.
It's not a converted aircraft or a buggy motor or anything like that. But
And how big is the boat that sets on?
well, this is this one's going in this little 48-inch boat here. This little
4-footer.
yeah, little. It's a modified V. It'll have a surface drive like an Arneson drive, much like the Ocean Racers, only it's a V. So I built the thing, and it came in underweight. So I had to add some weight to it. So I embedded a 3/32 music wire keel in the bottom of the boat. So it's got like a metal keel now. And the boat's right at the minimum weight. So anyway, that tickled me.
What kind of wood is that?
It's aircraft plywood. This is a zip kit. This is the first kit I built of the zip kit company, and I was real impressed with it. The kit was under $90, and
The kit was what?
under $90.
Yeah.
And the jig board that it came with, I could almost build another boat out of this 2 foot by 4.5 foot, huge piece of plywood they sent as a jig board. And the boat jigged up beautifully. In fact, when Rusty and I were on the other night, there was only a couple of us, I think. I don't know. I was telling him when the kit came, I had the kit together in the living room, all the framework. It went together without a drop of glue. I was so impressed. Everything is fit so well. So then I brought the kit out to my garage here where it's like 90% humidity. The thing wouldn't go together. I had to take it back in the house and let the wood dry out. Put it together, and then I brought it out and just pack it with CA and then epoxy.
Well, just left it outside. You might not even have to do nothing.
Anyway, but yeah, it's I just love building, and I certainly love flying. But right now it's hot down here, so we in the morning I go out, but it's really not good RC soaring because the thermals don't pick up till 10:30, 11 o'clock. And by then, this Florida sun, you don't want to be out there staring up, trying to sunburn your tonsils, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I build now.
There's Charles.
Hey guys.
You made it. We were getting worried about you.
Yeah, I'm trying to set up.
Call on the posse.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get set up so I can do some work.
I'm done with this except for the foam.
What kind of work?
I'm gonna make some lines.
Oh, you're making some lines?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what date that is. That up in Chicago. I gotta find that out.
Trying to think. When is
Hey, didn't you guys check out Stunt Hanger on that in my classifieds on all them control line kits?
I've looked at it a couple of times, but I'm not in the market for any kits, so I hadn't really looked at it but once or twice. There's a bunch of them, though.
Oh, really?
Let's see here.
Are you getting many hits?
Oh yeah, I here this last week has been kind of rough for me. Keeping up with it.
Is there a Sig Magnum in that kit lot by chance?
Yep.
There is. Yeah,
Yep.
I always wanted to get another one of those, but the thing built so heavy, I think I could put it on a weight loss diet now, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, that thing.
Or put a
Magnum was too
90
much
in it.
for me. I learned that I definitely have a weight limit when it comes to flying control line planes because that Magnum was too much
That's
for
a
me.
big airplane.
It was fun. I could nurse it through a pattern. But it was back when I was flying beginner too, so I wasn't as experienced either. I might be able to
Did
handle
you
it
have
better.
a 60 in it, Rusty? A 60?
No, it had a 46 FX, OS 46
Oh yeah.
FX ball bearing, which was a really powerful engine. It hauled that Magnum around with no problem. It had authority. But the Magnum weighed 72 ounces.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a heavy one. That's like my P40.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, fuck. Did you kill me, Spammer? Okay. Now we got killed by spammers again. So I'm going to stop this stream and see if I can restart it. Sorry, guys. I know I got a bunch of you watching me, so hang on a minute. Let me see what I can do.